Appreciate you clicking on this video. I just got done watching The Watchers. And with The Watchers, we are following a group of strangers who find themselves in a concrete building in the middle of the forest. And every night at this location, they are visited by a group they only know as The Watchers. And that's all pretty much. I got any spoilers, you guys. This will be a spoiler-free review. Let's talk some watches. So I talked about this movie a couple of times here on the channel, and the reason it was really piquing my interest before we saw any trailer was who was directing it. This movie is being directed by Ishana Night Shyamalan, the daughter of M. Night Shyamalan, and to me, I always find it kind of fascinating when children of directors decide to do what their parents did, and as someone like M. Night Shyamalan, who's had a lot of notable and, other projects people don't find that notable, you gotta wonder, how far did the apple fall from the tree? The trailers seem to paint an interesting mystery. I like the concept of what they were doing in here. So that's all I was really expecting, is just a fun, interesting mystery and hopefully a cool little reveals along the way. And it was fine. I think there's going to be some people that are going to love this movie a lot more than I ended up loving it. Let me go into the good, then I'll get into the bad. Starting off with the good here, Ishana Night Shyamalan is not the problem. This movie is well directed. Most of the issues with the movie will come with the story itself and just it being more of a personal preference. But as a director, I felt she did a good enough job in here. She created a lot of suspense and atmosphere. This is a movie where you're for sure hooked on for most of the beginning of the movie. And there's a lot of creepy, eerie things happening from the forest and whatever these things are watching them. Some good sound design, all of it done well. Dakota Fanning, who is the star of this movie and our main character, I thought gave a great performance. It's a small cast, but as far as it goes, she for sure is the best one of the bunch. And something else I think is worth complimenting that I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, especially with the last name Shyamalan in here, did this movie rely on a twist, or is the twist gonna be the thing that makes or breaks the movie? And while I'm definitely not gonna give any clues to any twist or reveals in here, I am willing to say this movie does not rely on the twist, or at least dependent on it for you to come out enjoying this movie. There is a reveal and a small twist, but the movie doesn't hinge on that, and I thought that was a really smart move because I feel like sometimes M. Night Shyamalan might regret being the king of twists because it already sets up an unwarranted standard in every single one of his movies. I mean, I know I'm looking forward to his new film Trap, and I think the biggest thing everybody's talking about is what's the twist of that movie? So I'm glad Ishana Night Shyamalan isn't falling into that trap or rut where the twist is going to be like the biggest thing about this movie. And honestly, there I think is where I kind of end on my positives. This is definitely going to be a movie where it's going to be up to you on how you feel about the story. For the first 40-30 minutes, as you're getting used to this idea of people, strangers trapped in a forest in this building, wanting answers to all these things going on, I think most of the audience will be on board, and then the movie slowly starts to reveal what's happening, who the Watchers are, and then from there, depending on when you get that information, you're either gonna vibe with the rest of the movie, you're just not going to be into it. I sadly fell into the camp where I just wasn't into it that much. So much of the marketing of the movie and what you think is going to be the film is relying on this mystery of what are the Watchers? What do they want? Why are they there? And while the movie provides you with those answers as you're getting them, the movie ends up becoming something a little different. And I think it charters into cheesy or kind of corny territory. I honestly started losing a lot of interest in the movie once it got revealed. Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be people out there that love what the Watchers are, the history behind them, be intrigued with them. And to me, it just didn't do that, especially when it came to the third act of this movie. It feels like it goes a little bit off the rails and the movie just over explains what's going on. And even aside on whether you like or don't like where they go on the direction of the Watchers, I just also wasn't a fan of most of the characters in here. While I thought Dakota Fanning did do a good job and she's nice as a main character, the other three strangers, I did not care about them at all. They really didn't make them that interesting or compelling, and when any of them were put in danger, I honestly wasn't worried for their life. And even getting back onto the thing where I was saying this movie has a twist or a reveal, and it's not the biggest part of the movie. That twist and reveal is extremely predictable. I think you see it coming from a mile away, so it's really good that the whole movie didn't base itself on that twist, but it's just everything surrounding the Watchers. I was just like, I wish I was into this. I know there's going to be a group of people that see that and go, oh, that's exciting, that's interesting. To me, I kind of breathed out, went, oh, okay. You know, props for subverting expectations, though, or going in a direction we weren't expecting. But sadly, it just wasn't a direction I was like really fond. So when it comes to The Watchers, I'm gonna give action 1 star. This is a kind of tame movie. While there are sequences of these Watchers maybe chasing or going after somebody, it's a pretty calm movie with not a lot of crazy things happening. Commenting the movie, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. There's actually quite a few moments in here where it was unintentional comedy, where even my theater started laughing at things that really shouldn't have been funny, but because it was handled in such an awkward way, the theater couldn't help but to laugh. A lot of those moments come in the third act when you think the movie should have been wrapped up by now, but it just continues and continues and continues. Drama in the film, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. Like I said, I think this is really gonna come down to your personal preference. When they reveal what the Watchers are and the story continues from there, if you like what the Watchers are, great, you're gonna enjoy this movie. If you're disappointed by what the Watchers are, that's gonna be time for you to leave, buddy. Horror in the movie, I will give 2 stars too. That's mainly thanks to the sound design and just the imagery of these Watchers. That stuff paired together made for some really creepy stuff, but once you get revealed of what they are and the movie like over explaining where they come from, it does a lot to ruin the mystery and make it not as scary. And suspense the movie, I will give it 3 stars. For a lot of the movie, I am like, okay, what's going on? How are they getting now? How is this gonna end? But I started caring less about those answers as the movie went on. Casual moviegoers, I'm gonna give this a B-. Like I said, I know there's gonna be an audience of group of people that are gonna love what the Watchers are, but it's still gonna be a very divisive thing. Cinephiles, I'm gonna give it a C-, and critically, I'm gonna give it a C-. For the Watchers, I do think it makes for an intriguing mystery with kind of an unexpected turn of events that you could check out and rent at home.
That'll do, Donkey. That'll do.
Again, that's just my opinion on the movie, guys, but I feel a lot of people will agree with me, and there will be a couple of people that are like, you're crazy. That was such a cool reveal, such an interesting concept. I'm glad you thought so. To me, it was just kind of eh. Let me know your guys' opinion on the movie. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.